Restoration is brought to you by
Hisense, everyday prices for everyday people.
Yes, extra long sanitary pad for extra comfort.
We got yes protection.
Pepsodent, 10 times stronger teeth.
I don't compromise on the quality of my food. Use Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix.
For naturally whiter teeth, Pepsodent Charcoal.
It is lovely to come your way, and this is how I welcome you to this week's episode of Restoration with Stacey. I'd like to say a very big thank you to Yas Washing Powder and Yas Sanitary Pad, Hooch Corn and Chocoflix Hisense, everyday prizes for everyday people, La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, to Wazi Apartments located at Mile 7 near the Mile 7 Park. I'm saying a very big thank you to you. And of course, anytime I come to you with lots of goodness. Yes, we are coming to you with our new clear plastic bottle, and that does not mean that our taste has changed, neither has the thickness changed. It's still the same old Malta Guinness that you have known for years. Yes, and Malta Guinness is enriched in vitamins. We have vitamin B1, B2, B3, B5, and B6. So anytime you have your Malta Guinness, you know that you're actually nourishing your body with a lot of vitamin B. So please go out there and grab your Malta Guinness now. And before I start my conversation like I do, my guest and I will get to share this bottle. I actually can't wait. I just want to open it now. But it will be like I'm being rude. So I just have to behave so that when we start a conversation, we can both share our drinks. And a very big thank you to my glam team, Ophelia of ABS Lax Line, to Hair Duties for my hair, GH Beauty Artistry, and of course to my hairstylist, Hairmate GH, and yes, that is Free Mind Hair Team. Thank you very much for always ensuring that all the hair I get from Hair Duties are neatly and beautifully styled. We'll be right back after the break.
Yampone said your name, my auntie. Bryson, a phone of a Tasty Tom tomato mix. Opa kakra. Na ye bebre. Pa kakra yan kwani stew dodoa ope.
Tasty Tom dear, it will surely give you value for money. Steak and little is enough to get our desired quantity of stew and soup, and it doesn't color your meat or chicken.
Tasty Tom tomato mix into writing and sada. Into customers bar never.
I don't compromise on the quality of my food. Use Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix.
This advert is FDA approved.
Remember the days I just couldn't go to the gym because it was that time of the month? Yas extra long sanitary pad took the worry away. Easy.
Yes, comfort. I got yes, confidence. I got yes.
The new Yas Extra Long Sanitary Pad is the joy of every woman. It is extra absorbent and fits perfect. Don't allow anything to hold you back when it's that time.
Wow. Yes, yes, yes.
Feel confident, stay fresh.
Hi. Is it supposed to be that time of the month?
Yes. I got yes, confidence. I got
Yes.
we got yes, protection. I got
Yas Extra Long Sanitary Pad for extra comfort.
we got yes, protection.
Every child is so unique.
You like no other.
Outstanding in every way.
It's me like no other.
So anytime you walk and play,
You like no other.
you are special like Indomie.
It's me like no other.
Did you know that every child on the planet has their own unique fingerprint like no other?
You like no other. I can play the drums. I'm talented. It's me like no
as their own unique talents and abilities.
I can cook, I can paint. You like no other. Indomie, it's you like no other.
So every day, in whatever you do, remember you are special in your own way, like no other.
Thank you, Mom, for letting me know I'm special and for making me my special Indomie.
Thank you, Mommy.
Introducing Indomie beef flavor. Buy now.
This advert is FDA approved.
I love President Charcoal. Why?
When there are so many other charcoal toothpaste.
That's both charcoal and lemon.
Oh, does it?
Yes, look right here.
Yes. Pepsodent Charcoal has two of nature's powerful whitening ingredients. With a pair of activated charcoal and lemon essence, it removes stains and whitens teeth naturally.
Convinced?
Well, I am. Just look at your beautiful Pepsodent smiles.
For naturally whiter teeth, Pepsodent Charcoal.
Pepsodent. Wait, your tomato mix. Wouldn't so one pass. Still loud with tomato flavor no. No color changing like traffic lights. Come on.
Tasty Tom dear, it will surely give you value for money. The steak a little is enough to get our desired quantity of stew and soup.
Taste not so dear. On point. Flavor new.
And it doesn't color your meat or chicken. I don't compromise on the quality of my food. Use Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix.
This advert is FDA approved.
Ow.
Let me see.
She's never had a toothache before.
There might be a cavity. Don't you use Pepsodent?
We used to, but I'll try the new one.
Ah, that's why.
But doesn't every toothpaste give cavity protection?
Not really. Pepsodent's Cavity Fighter repairs tiny invisible holes to give 10 times stronger teeth. Will you trust Pepsodent?
Definitely.
Pepsodent. 10 times stronger teeth.
Use Pepsodent's Cavity Fighter.
Every child is so unique.
You like no other.
Outstanding in every way.
It's me like no other.
So anytime you walk and play,
you like no other.
You are special like Indomie.
It's me like no other.
Did you know that every child on the planet has their own unique fingerprint like no other?
You like no other. I can play the drums. I'm talented. It's me like no other.
I can sing. I can dance.
You like no other.
As well as their own unique talents and abilities.
I can cook. I can paint. You like no other. Indomie, it's you like no other.
So every day, in whatever you do, remember you are special in your own way, like no other.
Thank you, Mom, for letting me know I'm special and for making me my special Indomie.
Thank you, Mommy.
Introducing Indomie beef flavor. Buy now.
This advert is FDA approved.
Tasty Tom tomato mix. Ofa kakra. Na ye bebre. Fa kakra yang kwai ni stew dodo a ope.
Tasty Tom dear, it will surely give you value for money. The steak a little is enough to get our desired quantity of stew and soup. And it doesn't color your meat or chicken.
Tasty Tom tomato mix in tea. Me handwriting and sada. Sena ne dene dia sa net into customers bar never.
I don't compromise on the quality of my food. Use Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix.
This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back from the break, and a big thank you to the Sousa Catering Services for always ensuring we are duly refreshed on the show. Soraya, you and your team are simply amazing, and I'm saying a very big thank you to you. So this is the part I like, when I grab my Malta Guinness in the plastic bottle and I just turn it and I hear that noise it makes. Yeah, then I know I'm ready for a convo. So my guest today is a man who is all about health. He's a patient advocate, and we're going to be talking about a condition most Ghanaians take for granted. My guest is Mr. Franklin Hiagbe. How are you, darling? Okay, so I've actually turned my, so you do it, let's do our cheers, then we can get a conversation going. Yeah, it's the noise that I like. Good. Okay, so cheers.
Cheers to health.
To good health. Is it the same taste, you know?
It's the same taste.
Thickness?
Same,
10 over 10. So you see, go grab yours. So Franklin, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great this afternoon. And how are you?
I'm wonderful.
Looking wonderful.
Thank you. I try my best. So let's talk health. as Ghanaians, we mostly take our health for granted. We don't get checked till we are sick. And we seem to find medication for every problem we're going through. If you have a headache, oh, mekotowe. If your back is hurting, oh, get me something to rub on my back, let me have a massage. But we never take that initiative to leave it in the hands of experts to tell us what is really going on with us, to advise us on what to do. You are a patient advocate. What are you advocating?
Thank you very much, Stacey, for the opportunity. And I'll say hello to all our lovely viewers. You hit the nail right on the head. We don't take our health as seriously as we should. And usually when things occur, the regular Ghanaian seems to have an idea about what it is, and therefore what they think is the go-to for a solution. And that is what a lot of us have done for a very long time. And I'd say until I had such an experience and realized the value of the professional. And when I say the professional, I mean the professional in the sense of what exactly that particular thing that you're dealing with, right? Not the jack of all trades. Until you get to that professional to really speak to what it is you're experiencing, you would not see the value in it.
Yeah.
So I'll start with my story to answer your question of what I'm advocating. Somewhere in 2012, I started experiencing symptoms that were similar to what we would know as malaria, or maybe typhoid, and rheumatism that we usually experience in the cold, right? And I was experiencing these things intermittently, but they weren't going away. So after a time, it was clear to me something was wrong.
What was wrong?
So
someone would have kept taking the anti-malaria treatments, taking anti-typhoid.
Interestingly for me, I had gone for the malaria treatment thrice.
Aish.
So I went for the first one, and then it seemed to have come back again. So 2 weeks later, I went back. And when I went back, this time they said, well, it looks like you had malaria plus 3. So then the second time I went, they actually gave me a dosage that should help with the remaining plus 2, because I had already been treated once. So which means I got treated for malaria plus 3. But then I think a month or so later on, I was still feeling the
malaria
malaise,
was back.
The fatigue, the headaches. It didn't make sense, right? Now I know what it meant then. But then imagine that I went to the hospital, but somebody did not. This person might have kept
I'm sure, just
overdosing on malaria medication because the symptoms showed that it was malaria, but it wasn't. Fast forward in 2015, after 2.5 years. So I didn't used to wear glasses. What the journey I was on took me to the ophthalmologist. And today I wear glasses. Right? Things like that. So fast forward 2.5 years later, I end up at Kolebu, where I was referred to the physiotherapist, who after examining me said, aside from what brought me, so there was osteoporosis in my finger, this finger. So aside from that, and he said the muscles in my palms were wasted.
Wasted?
So, yeah, meaning they are very lax.
Okay.
So instead of, so if you shake me, a lot of people shake me and say...
There's not much sensitivity?
Yeah, no, there's sensitivity, but my palms feel very soft.
Oh.
And they go like, oh, you
Dadabi.
You this Dadabi. So I'm not a Dadabi. Disease made my hands Dadabi. But that's not the case, right? So until I went through all these experts, health experts in their own fields, I didn't know what I was going to now find out. And it turned out that I had an autoimmune condition called rheumatoid arthritis. Now, it took me 2.5 years to get to that point.
Okay, so let's break that. So within 2.5 years, you're getting the malaria symptoms, you're getting the typhoid symptoms, and after treating it 3 times, basically any rational human being will begin to have concerns.
Yes.
were you afraid that it could be something very terminal?
So at that point, I had no idea. I was not scared though. I just knew that something was wrong and we needed to find it. And we're going to keep searching until we found it. Fortunately, my upbringing doesn't give room for a lot of superstition. So I think that was the good thing on my part.
Side, okay.
Because a lot of people would easily...
Would have attributed it to a lot of things.
Because there are a lot of comments coming up. Oh, are you sure this isn't this? Are you sure this isn't that? I just focused, and my family was, my nuclear family that is, suddenly behind me. You know, let's try and find the medical condition that this might be. So we're looking for it.
So what was your first point of call?
Well, so first point of call was our family doctor.
Okay.
This is what is going on. So I remember I was doing my national service then. And one of the things that I experienced, aside from the joints pain, was swelling. Okay. So my arm was swelling for over 2 weeks. So, and I was doing my national service in the village, so you can imagine.
I'm sure the water you're drinking, the environment.
Oh, you left the city, you've gone to the village to go and teach, and this just happened out of the blue. So I did an MRI and a Doppler, all came back negative. There was nothing wrong. So then what could be causing it, right? So my family doctor, she was the one sending me, okay, so do this test. I'll refer you to this specialist. When you're done, come back. So until the osteoporosis was determined, was found out, and she was like, no, Franklin, this is something typically that would happen in older people when degeneration of the bones and joints begin. You are young, you are in your mid to late 20s. You shouldn't be experiencing this. So no, this doesn't sit well with me. Let me refer you to the physiotherapist at Kolebu, and let's see what they also can find out. So that is what sent me to Kolebu. And the physiotherapist at Kolebu is the one who, after examining and only noticing these things, was like, okay, no, all the other symptoms you are showing is making me think that this might be something else. So let me refer you to a specialist in what I am thinking it is. He didn't say what it was. And let her do her test and see if she'll find anything. So then I was referred to the rheumatology clinic, where I got to meet Dr. Jifade, who is Ghana's foremost rheumatologist at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. And she asked me to run the test. I ran the test, came back, and she started asking me, she was taking a history and asking me questions. And interestingly, all the questions she asked were the symptoms I was experiencing.
So you're just going, yes, yes,
come on,
yes,
you should see the relief in my being. So when you wake up early in the morning, there's stiffness. I said, yes. How long do you experience it? Is it over 30 minutes, close to an hour before it begins to relieve? Yes. Okay. You feel tired sometimes even when you've done nothing? Yes. It just kept going, and the yes I don't think I remember any no's. It was just yes. And I was like, okay, so finally, somebody who knows what I am going through. But how come I went through all these health professionals
and they couldn't tell? Because it's not their field.
Exactly. So then it dawned on me, okay, so a specialist is a specialist. When you are asked to go see a specialist, go see the specialist. And whatever the specialist says, listen to it, because I found out very quickly that there are a lot of people. So I'm fortunate. When you look at me, you don't know there's anything wrong with me, right? But there are some people who immediately you see them, you know, okay, no, this person is not feeling okay, or there's something wrong. But you don't see anything because mine was caught early. And it's been 8 years since my diagnosis, 2015 to now. Yes, 8 years since my diagnosis. And I feel pretty okay as compared to some other people. There are some people who wouldn't follow what the rheumatologist says as far as management of the condition is concerned. Some people who stop taking medication after the first few months or few years, either because they are tired or because their funds can't afford it any longer, or because they feel like, you know what, let's try Bibidro, because at the end of the day, that is even where the orthodox medication is being taken from, right? So Why don't we rather go to the source? Unfortunately, the science behind the condition and what the drugs can do cannot be determined with herbal medication. Although herbal medication might be good in a certain sense. Or could help. But because the science cannot marry with it, it's not advisable. Right? So I found out that, okay, this thing is there. Not a lot of people know about it. And mind you, it's been found out that it's more common than HIV/AIDS, more common than heart disease, and more common than high blood pressure combined.
Okay, so let's do numbers.
Yes.
If we pick 10 people, how many people are likely to have this condition?
So if we pick 10 people, it would be, I think, 3 out of 10. And if we look at that in terms of men and women, 2 women out of the 3 would have an autoimmune. Actually, we have rheumatoid arthritis, and 1 out of the 3 would have, would be a male.
Wow.
And that is just for rheumatoid arthritis. That falls under the umbrella autoimmune conditions. And there are over 80 autoimmune conditions. I'm sure you've heard of lupus. I watched a show where there was a woman who came to speak about her daughter, I think.
Yeah.
Lupus is an autoimmune condition. Rheumatoid arthritis is 1. Type 1 diabetes is 1. Crohn's is 1. Hashimoto's is 1. There are a lot of them. Myositis, mixed connective tissue disease. There are over 80 of them. But no one knows about these things.
I am surprised. Because if you don't catch it early, it means it could be that bad.
Yes.
What is likely to be a patient's condition if they don't catch it early?
Okay. So for rheumatoid arthritis, let me backtrack a bit. Autoimmune conditions are conditions where your body's immune system fights itself. So the body's immune system is supposed to protect us against infections and diseases, right? But for some weird reason, they attack you, the individual, your healthy cells, and they begin to destroy.
It's just like you having bodyguards and the bodyguards turning around to fight you.
Exactly. So in rheumatoid arthritis, they attack mainly the joints. So that is why probably
people say Anansi Acheme.
So either the Anansi one or the
where's the Anansi?
The rheumatism Sasabro one.
Okay.
Right? Maybe it might be an autoimmune condition.
Okay.
So that is where checking. So if your Sasabro keeps coming back after, and so the medicine says for more than 6 weeks.
Okay.
And it keeps repeating itself. Get checked.
It's not
Maybe
common Sasabro.
It might not be common Sasabro.
Okay.
Because common Sasabro, once you use your Fachukeke, once or twice, it should go away.
It should go away.
But it went away, it came back again in the next 3 days. Came back again after a week. And then this is going on for 6 weeks.
And you begin to limp
2 months.
sometimes.
Exactly. Then probably it's more than that. So in rheumatoid arthritis, it attacks the joints. However, we refer to some of them, a class of them, as systemic diseases.
Okay.
So when it is not managed, because it's the immune system, it can move from attacking the joints to attacking other systems in the body. So some other organs can be affected. And in rheumatoid arthritis specifically, it can attack the heart. So then leading to heart failure or heart conditions, right? In some other ones like lupus, it can attack the lungs, it can attack the kidney, it can attack the brain, it can attack the blood vessels, the skin, wherever. So if it is not caught early and managed properly, aside from damaging the joints, some other organs in the body can be affected. Now, my eyes were affected. So as I said, I didn't used to wear glasses. All of a sudden, I had to start wearing them because some inflammation in the I think the nerves behind the eyes were affected, and so the inflammation is there, and then the pain is there, and it's causing all of these things, and it can affect anybody at all. It does not discriminate. It can affect kids, it can affect young adults like us, and it can affect the aged. In kids, it is called juvenile idiopathic arthritis, and that affects children 16 years and below, even to the baby.
Wow.
Yes. And a lot of us don't know about these things. So the organization that I am with now, the Rheumatology Initiative, is out there to do what you are giving me the platform to do now. Advocate for patients, educate patients, and not only patients, but even the health professionals as well. Because not everybody would come to Kolebu or get to be able to come to Kolebu and meet Dr. Day like I did.
Like
I was
you
fortunate.
did. You were fortunate.
Yes.
And I'm sure it's not cheap.
At all. So I was fortunate. But if other people in the other general hospitals, right, know about this and they can catch them early, then they can refer to Kolebu because they probably will not have the expertise to manage it properly. So identifying and diagnosing is very critical to the prolonged well-being of the person, because if it is caught early, then treatment can start early. So to answer your question, why I'm doing this advocacy, that's the reason, because a lot of people don't know about it, but it is more common than we think. More common. Just think about it. Everybody knows about heart conditions.
Yeah.
Everybody knows about HIV/AIDS.
About
But this is even more
cancers.
common than that. So,
Wow. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll delve a little more into this, because I think we need to give it more attention, and it's something most of us have taken for granted, because I believe until now, most people didn't know about it. So we'll be right back after this break.
Yampone said the name of my auntie. Bryson, a phone of a Tasty Tom tomato mix. Ofa kakra. Na ye bebre. Fa kakra yan kwani stew dodoa ope.
Tasty Tom dear, it will surely give you value for money. Steak and little is enough to get our desired quantity of stew and soup, and it doesn't color your meat or chicken.
Tasty Tom tomato mix into. Me handwriting and sada. Then I need the nedia sanet into customers bar never.
I don't compromise on the quality of my food. Use Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix.
This advert is FDA approved.
I love President Charcoal. Why?
When there are so many other charcoal toothpaste.
That's both charcoal and lemon.
Oh, does it?
Yes, look right here.
Yes. Pepsodent Charcoal has two of nature's powerful whitening ingredients. With a pair of activated charcoal and lemon essence, it removes stains and whitens teeth naturally.
Convinced?
Well, I am. Just look at your beautiful Pepsodent smiles.
For naturally whiter teeth, Pepsodent Charcoal.
Remember the days I just couldn't go to the gym because it was that time of the month? Yas extra long sanitary pad took the worry away. Easy.
Yes, comfort, I got. Yes, confidence, I got. Yes.
The new Yas Extra Long Sanitary Pad is the joy of every woman. It is extra absorbent and fits perfect. Don't allow anything to hold you back when it's that time.
Wow.
Yes, yes, yes.
Feel confident, stay fresh.
Hi. Is it supposed to be that time of the month?
Yes. I got. Yes, confidence, I got.
Yes.
We got yes protection, I got.
Yas Extra Long Sanitary Pad for extra comfort.
We got yes protection.
Let me see.
She's never had a toothache before.
There might be a cavity. Don't you use Pepsodent?
We used to, but I'll try the new one.
Ah, that's why.
But doesn't every toothpaste give cavity protection?
Not really. Pepsodent's Cavity Fighter repairs tiny invisible holes to give 10 times stronger teeth. Will you trust Pepsodent?
Definitely. Pepsodent. 10 times stronger teeth.
Use Pepsodent's Cavity Fighter.
Every child is so unique.
You like no other.
Outstanding in every way.
It's me like no other.
So anytime you walk and play,
You like no other.
you are special like Indomie.
It's me like no other.
Did you know that every child on the planet has their own unique fingerprint like no other?
You like no other. I can play the drums. I'm talented. It's me like no other. I can sing. I can dance. You like no other.
As well as their own unique talents and abilities.
I can cook. I can paint. You like no other. Indomie. It's you like no other.
So every day, in whatever you do, remember you are special in your own way, like no other.
Thank you, Mom, for letting me know I'm special and for making me my special Indomie.
Thank you, Mommy.
Introducing Indomie beef flavor. Buy now.
This advert is FDA approved.
It's our giveaway moment at ABS Lax Line, and I'm excited that I've been able to fulfill my promise to all my loyal viewers here. What do you want to say? You're from say?
From Sarah.
Sarah. Hey, Sarah. Pacho, lady, one name is chef for Hawaii. We want to make Sarah feeds me every time I come to ABS, and I'm now come to me as we do.
But let me pick a car.
Into maybe I need you. I'm five. Sarah, episode there, hip hop your favorite.
But I see you do. Ghana was beautiful.
Oh, I see you do.
But I see you do.
Dear, the man episode here for
the man here for pan so when give you up, even do a call for several attempts, pageants, but then she never gave up. We see a lot of things, but then Nina when give you up on that, even though you see some one or two people in your life, well, I do want anything to know. So now per se, of course I know on NASA, baby of course on
but some man who chef. Maybe a chef, a chef. Me buy am in kitano bone. High sense, so mommy aduane di kwenti no. What do I want to say? I'll catch your high sense.
High sense for me damasina me shram bebre. Uncle so am more customers.
Amen. So from my chef and I, thank you very much. We'll see you same time next week on our High Sense Super Crazy giveaway moment. Welcome back. That is our winner for this week's High Sense Super Crazy giveaway moment. Very soon, our guests will also get to pick something, and we would find out what Franklin will take home today. But I'm still on my Malta Guinness. Franklin, you've been drinking?
Yes.
Same old tastes, same old thickness, just that we have a very environmentally friendly packaging for you now. So please remember to go out there and refresh your day with a lot of goodness with Malta Guinness. Okay, so Franklin, most of the times, right, you wake up and you feel this stiffness in your feet. And mostly you just throw your leg a few minutes and it's fine. So if someone is waking up with that feeling consistently, should the person be concerned?
Yes, I would say they should. As I said earlier on, it's supposed to be more than 6 weeks. Okay. So definitely if you're experiencing something like this for 2 months, 3 months, and it keeps coming back, right, then you should be concerned and you should see your health practitioner. So go to the hospital, get checked, and if nothing is showing up, if they're not finding what the cause is, then maybe tell them you've heard about autoimmune conditions, something also called rheumatoid arthritis. If the doctor could please check, do tests to see if anything of the sort can be found out. Again, you know our doctors, so don't go telling them, hey, you know rheumatoid arthritis, so yeah. Say it nicely. Oh, you've heard about this, or you've read about it.
So you just want to be sure.
You just want to be sure. Could they check? And definitely they should be able to do that. And once it is found or confirmed, then probably a referral to Kolebu, to the rheumatology clinic, would be a good next step.
How is the treatment mostly like?
So because of its peculiar nature, treatment, we don't usually like to say treatment because then treatment kind of gives a sense of curing it.
Curing it, so
it has no cure.
Management.
So we like to say management.
Okay. So
there
is no cure.
There is no cure. There's no cure because this is your immune system. Something that God himself designed. How do you go about curing what is actually making you who you are, right? So it's managed. At the moment, it's management. Science is still hoping that we can get to a point where we get a cure or we get what we call remission. Okay. So remission is a situation where the disease is not active.
When you're not having the reactions.
You're not having any of the symptoms and you are generally fine. That is what a lot of our rheumatologists hope for, that they can get their patients into remission and it's under control and your medications are at the barest minimum. Okay. So hopefully maybe they can develop a super drug that when you take can just take you down into remission and you can stay there for as long as possible. But however, there is no cure at the moment. So it is managed and it has to be managed holistically because of the things that are happening. So assuming that, so the rheumatologist is first, primary, right? But assuming that you have joint involvement, then that means you have to involve the physiotherapist. Okay, you might have to involve, how do you call it? Occupational therapists, in case it has affected your ability to work, right? For people who, let's say, their joints are damaged beyond what the physiotherapist can necessarily do, but they still need to exercise, you might have to involve somebody like a hydrotherapist because you might not be able to exercise the regular way everybody else does, but because of the buoyancy of water, it's easier and gentler on the joint. So maybe you might be referred to that. You might need a dietitian because we know that certain foods have anti-inflammatory properties and inflammation is very present in autoimmune conditions, especially rheumatoid arthritis. So having a dietitian to guide you, okay, these are the foods that are anti-inflammatory. These are the ones that have inflammatory properties. So maybe cut down on those or try and stay away from them if you can. And these are the healthy choices that you can make. And of course, we don't ask you to go on a diet. You are encouraged to eat a balanced meal.
And stay healthy.
And stay healthy. But in Ghana, what will a balanced meal be?
A little bit of fufu,
and then somebody will say they want to use the fufu to quench the pain. You get it? Yeah. How much fufu you would need to quench the pain would have to be advised by the dietitian. Okay. Looking at all the other factors.
So maybe someone who would take like 3 balls of fufu, because of your condition, you might have to reduce it to just 1 bowl with a lot of soup and a lot of protein. Exactly. And there are times that even with your protein, you would not have to do a lot of fats. You might have to stick with fish because of iron and all of that. And I can be a dietitian.
You are right on the money. Yeah. Okay, so A lot of omega-3 is encouraged for us, and that is found in cold water fish. So your salmons, your herrings, okay, your tunas, you get a lot of omega-3 from there. So we are encouraged to eat more fish and to stay away from red meat. So although we would say a lot of protein, even the protein is specified. So all of that you need a dietitian to help with, right? And then of course, in comes the psychologists or psychotherapists. Because of the devastation of these diseases, autoimmune diseases in general, in my sense, rheumatoid arthritis to be specific, it comes a lot along with a lot of baggage. There are people who've lost relationships because they were diagnosed with autoimmune conditions. How do you explain to your partner that what you're experiencing is not spiritual when you yourself don't even understand what you're going through? How do you explain to the person who knew you in one lifetime as this very nice, bubbly, beautiful lady, and then after we got married, after our first baby came, then she fell ill, or maybe the first baby even didn't come. Sometimes we've not talked about what sets it off, right? But sometimes stress is a very huge component, and someone's immune system could be triggered off just because of the stress of planning for their wedding.
Wow.
And after the wedding, they are diagnosed with an autoimmune condition.
Stress can do that?
Yes, stress sets it off. For me, I think stress was what set mine off.
What were you planning for?
So work was, it wasn't stressful, it was hectic.
Hectic.
And at the time, we had just started off a new organization.
So you're trying to be Superman, do everything.
So my two bosses and myself, I'd say were the initial 3 employees.
Okay.
And to get this thing off on the right foot, we're doing
work your bum
everything.
Off. Yeah.
And we had to now so it was successful, and now we had to do our first training program for 2 weeks. During that 2 weeks, I think I had at most, on the average, 3 hours of sleep a night.
It's bad.
So talk about late marathons that we've been having, the cookathons and the whatever tons. And right after that, I broke down. And not long after, meanwhile, I had been experiencing the symptoms.
The symptoms, but you didn't
little by
take
little,
it
but I didn't
seriously.
take it. After that one, like I broke down and had to be carried to the hospital. So for me, I'm very sure it was the stress that was the final straw that broke the camel's back. And so for some people it's stress. For other people, so for people with RA specifically, smoking has been found out to be a trigger.
Okay.
So either first-hand smoking
or
second-hand, where you are in the neighborhood of people who smoke constantly. That can trigger it as well or make your symptoms worse. Infections could also cause it. So you are infected with a certain bacteria or disease, and by the time you are done with it, it makes your immune system go haywire, and then it triggers it. And then for some other people, trauma. So you've been in an accident before, and then that thing kind of like
sticks with you.
So it keeps coming back. Maybe this particular lower back pain or that particular joint pain. And so usually when these things happen, your immune system sends cells to the place to kind of like solve the problem. In the event that was the day it went haywire, instead of going to solve the problem, it goes to make it worse. Hits it off. You can get an autoimmune condition. So there are several of those things. Mine, for me, I think, was stress. And that could happen. So that happens, and then let's say I had a fiance, we were all happy, we get married, and then this thing happens. Now we keep searching. You are searching until your savings account is dry. You've not found anything. And then who starts? Oh, aren't you people sure this thing is spiritual? I know this prophet, let's go, there you go. Prophet has prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed. 3 months, prayer camp,
of oil.
Nothing has happened. Hey, then this one, it is hard. Your house people, if you don't take care, you would have now delivered your mom and your aunties and your grandmoms, and it is still there. What happens? People get fed up. So I know I have a lot of colleagues. When I say colleagues, people like me who have autoimmune conditions, especially the ladies, who've lost marriages, who've lost loved ones because of this. Some people, strong-headed ones who didn't probably want to toe the family line and what the family was dictating, have lost family support. And this can be emotionally draining and psychologically draining. So we need a psychotherapist or a psychologist to come in as well. So it's a holistic management plan that you would need. It is not just, and that is why at the beginning we said what? The importance of specialists. Because they would know exactly what to do. And all of these people are going to come and help your rheumatologist, who is the primary person, help you manage this condition.
We have a culture in Ghana where talking to a psychologist is not always the ideal element when it comes to your health. But it's also common knowledge that sometimes, just sometimes, they help. Because they listen to you. Yep. They don't judge you. They go through your emotions with you. And by the time you leave, your stress level is actually down.
Yes.
But it's mostly like, oh, what if I go to tell him or her something and the next minute someone else knows about it? Yeah. How do we make people confident enough to know that you can actually make that bold step and talk to a psychologist about your condition?
So it's one of the things that the Rheumatology Initiative does. So we have a support group. And for sensitive issues like this, we usually have what we call a closed meeting. So usually for the sake of advocacy and education, most of our sessions are open sessions, where we invite the public to come, we invite friends and families to join us. But in specific instances such as this one, we would have a closed session. And so we would say, we call it a venting session. So just come and vent.
Vent.
So people feel free to come because we understand that these professionals guard patient, so there's doctor-patient confidentiality. So they're not going to take it anywhere else. And then we, amongst ourselves, are keeping it to ourselves as well. Because ordinarily, we don't even want to talk about our situation. Because not everybody would understand, and for those who say they understand, not everybody appreciates it. And they're the same people, as you said, who would use it against you elsewhere. So because of that, we like to stay to ourselves. However, some of us believe we need to be able to go out there. So my life is an open book. If you go on my socials, I share everything all the time, everything, right? So people get to know the reason why we are doing what we are doing. But to your point again, yes, it's a big issue. So that's how we help. We explain to them this is going to be a closed session, so feel free to say what you're dealing with, and let the professional advise and help. So we bring in the professional, and then you come at any of our monthly meetings so we have monthly meetings where we bring in different professionals. So dietitians will come, a psychotherapist will come. Just last month we had a hydrotherapy session. We've had physiotherapy in the past. So we've had health screenings for the ophthalmologist to come and check, for the dentist to come and check. Oh, I didn't mention, it can affect your dental system as well. So,
is it?
Yes, it can affect your dental system. And maybe you are going to ask, Ghanaians don't go to the dentist.
What's coming there?
We don't go to the dentist.
We don't like to go to the dentist.
If I get people don't even want to use the toothbrush, they still want to use the chewing stick and the sponge.
The chewing stick and the sponge.
That is the one, a broom. You see, so we want to go. But these things are necessary because we found out that all these aspects of the body can be affected. So somebody might not show symptoms, but it might start appearing in their dental structure. If you don't go to the dentist, how will it be picked up? For me, although I was experiencing that, it was found in my eyesight first. Right? So things like that. So we need them.
It means we do not have to take anything for granted.
So I liked the way you started it.
We don't have to take anything.
We don't like going to find out.
Yeah.
We think we know.
But the funny thing about us as a people is most women only see a gynae when they're pregnant.
Yep.
Most people would see their doctor when they feel sick, but that should not be the routine. At least your yearly checkup should be done.
Yes.
You should know where your levels are, your cholesterol, your sugar, but we just can't be bothered. Yeah, sorry, you're fine, you're fine. That's it. But I think it should be part of our lifestyles. Yes. We should learn to check. We don't wait till we are dying. That is when we begin to check. It makes the work much more tedious. Sometimes take advantage of the free health screenings that we bring to you. You don't pay for it, just show up. Just come get screened. You never know what you'd pick up. And it could actually help you save a lot of money, because if it's caught early, you spend less. Yes. If it's caught later, trust me, that's like a whole fortune going. And Franklin, what you're doing is amazing. Thank you. I've learned a lot today. So now if I'm feeling any stiffness, I'm not taking it for granted. No, seriously, because sometimes you wake up and you're like, oh, I slept on my neck, I slept on my hand. But now with this education, I've learned you don't have to take it for granted, especially if it's consistent. Yes. You should know that something could be wrong. It could also be it's nothing, but just go get checked. It doesn't kill you. I mean, nothing's spoiled. Just get checked so you can have a sound mind and know that you're okay. At least we all want to grow old and be happy and healthy. That's what we all wish for. So thank you very much for coming to share.
And thank you for having me.
Before I let go of you, is there any other thing you'd want to share? How can people join?
Yes. So we encourage people to join us. We have a volunteer group where different people volunteer to assist. If you want to join the efforts to speak to people about this, or if you're a health practitioner, you think that you want to bring your services to bear to aid some of the patients that we have. It's interesting. Every week, 4 new cases are taken at the rheumatology clinic.
Every week?
Rheumatoid arthritis alone. Every week.
Every week?
Yes.
So that means every month is about 16 cases. Wow.
They are on the youth support group that I am on, and I'm a subgroup leader on. There are over 200 of us, and those are the people who've accepted to be a part of the group. They're the people who they will meet them in person, they won't come, and that's just for the youth group. As I said, we have the juvenile idiopathic arthritis for the kids. That's different, and then the adults too. Let's say they are technology shy, so they can't be on the platform. We have their group as well. So even if we say it's 200 across board, that will just be 600 people who have been identified. For those who haven't and are now coming, every week, 4 new cases. So, as I said, it is more common than some of the common diseases we know. We are not treating it well. So, if anybody wants to join us, they can do so. You can reach us on all socials, the Rheumatology Initiative. So, if you type in the Rheumatology Initiative, they're like to show up. Otherwise, on X, I was going to say Twitter, it's now X. On X and on Instagram is at TRI Ghana, one word. TRI Ghana, one word. And then on Facebook, the Rheumatology Initiative. You can reach out to me directly if you want to speak to me. 0542 560 905.
Can you repeat the number again?
0542 560 905. Forgive me, I'm just trying to get the office line for you, but I'm not getting it.
I think also, your personal number works.
Yeah, so if you get in touch with me, we'll be able to do that. Otherwise, reach out to us on social media and we'll respond. And then yes, if you want to join the cause, we are happy to. One important aspect as well is funding, and especially in the current climate after COVID-19, it's not been easy. So if you want to donate towards our work, because some people come in and they need life-saving treatment immediately, because perhaps they were diagnosed late. And as at that time, something is shutting down, but there's that drug that can help, and it's expensive. So how do you do it? Instead of waiting for the families to run around and they'll come back and tell you, unfortunately, it's too late, the Rheumatology Initiative will try to step in. Unfortunately, we've not been able to do a good fundraiser since COVID set in, because we all know what the situation is. Not a lot of people have to even let go of before, so it's been difficult. So financial assistance is welcomed as well to help us reach out to these people. We are spending, if you are buying medication, close to 2,000 cedis a month.
Wow.
And that is for those on, let's say, normal dosage.
Normal dosage. For
those on the higher dosage, it's higher than that. Also, depending on the kind of medication that you've been prescribed to buy. Okay. For mine, it's close to 2K a month. So just think what that means for other people who might not maybe be in the position I am to be able to afford it. What happens to them? For those people, sometimes the rheumatology initiative comes as well, because that might be the difference between a worsening condition that cannot be reversed and then staying in a semblance of a good state.
Wow, so if you're out there, you're open for support, Corporate Ghana, I think this is an initiative that is worth supporting. So let's all join hands and save lives that are actually in this complex situation, because it can be anybody tomorrow. Today might be your neighbor, tomorrow might be from your household. So kindly get in touch with Franklin so we see how best to support this initiative. So Franklin, before I let go of you, it's time for you to pick your card from Hisense.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll pick the first one.
Okay. Thank you for coming. You take home a toaster. Okay, so you have a toaster from Hisense.
Thank you very much, Hisense. Very much appreciated.
Okay, so this is our toaster for you, and I hope you put it to good use. And I know you go and give it to your support group that, oh, let's keep this here. This is a gift from Hisense and Restoration. A very big thank you to all of you, our viewers, and of course to our sponsors, Hisense, everyday prizes for everyday people, Yas washing powder and Yas sanitary pad, Hooch Corn and Choco Flakes. We will say a very big thank you to La Palm Royal Beach Hotel and to Wazi Apartment, located at Mile 7 near the Mile 7 Park. Thank you to the Souza Catering Services, Soraya. You're simply amazing. To my style team, ABS Lux Line, Hair Duties, Hair Maids, GH, thank you very much. To GH Beauty Artistry, thank you so much for my makeup. And before I let go of you, please remember, do not just go out to start your day without getting essential vitamins. Your vitamins B1, B2, B3, B5, B6 is ultimate. So please make sure that every time you're out, you have your Malta Guinness with you. Remember, the taste has not changed. The thickness is still the same. We're just coming to you in a clear plastic bottle. And this bottle means that we have Ghana at heart, we are protecting the environment, and this bottle can be recycled. So go out there and grab your Malta Guinness. Always do remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. We'll see you next week.